Magic can be overdone, and it can even become addictive in some cases. And this can come along with a lot of physiological problems that the person has to deal with then. So I just want to have a brief look at that today, and but first, the intro. Okay, so today's video is about how magic can be overdone and the problems that arise from it. Because in a lot of cases, we might do some magic and we get the results that we're looking for. We think, fantastic, let's do it again and again and again and again and get more results. But that can actually end up being a bit of an issue. And I'm making this video today because I have a customer in South Africa who bought a lot of products from me and has been doing the same thing over and over and over again every day, and has ended up with migraines, migraines, however you want to pronounce it. The migraines are actually a result of doing the same thing over and over again. And it is something that people do without thinking about it. Obviously, when you practice more and more, you kind of start to realize why it happens and why you shouldn't actually do it over and over again. Now, when I say over and over again, what I mean is that you might be doing magic for a certain thing, for a particular thing. In this case, it was to uncross energy. And she was doing a candle working every single day to uncross the energy, but the result was that it kept indicating a blockage in her path, and so she'd do it the next day to try and get rid of this blockage and try and uncross her energy. And with candle magic can obviously be done to bring the result that you want, but at the same time it can also be used as a divination tool. So you read the way the candle actually burns, you read the way the wax flows and things like that, and they indicate particular or certain things that you need to be aware of. In this case, it kept on coming up with a huge big mountain formation in the future position, and therefore it was a blockage that was causing her to not move forward. And doing the same candle spell and the same candle magic over and over again every day is probably not going to bring the results you want. It's just going to keep on indicating this blockage. That's all it wants to do, is just keep showing you there's a blockage, you need to do something about it. But because of the constant day after day repetition, it was forcing a compression of energy that was actually causing migraines. When you're working with magic, you need to understand that what you're doing is manipulating energy. So when you're manipulating that energy, it needs to then be allowed to actually flow in a certain direction. So once you've done a spell working, and you'll find this especially with sigil magic, you forget about it. Just let it go, and you need to allow it time to actually start forming, start changing, start moving in a particular direction, the direction that you actually want it to move in. So you do your spell work, and then you let it go, and just give it that time. Don't keep thinking about it, because if you keep thinking about it, you're going to start lusting after results. You are going to then start blocking it. But if in an instance where you are doing something like candle magic and it shows you that there is a particular thing that you need to take care of before you can actually move forward or move forward with the spell work you're actually trying to achieve, then you need to do something about it. In this case, it would be doing cleansing baths, for instance, uncrossing baths, and actually working with that energy to try and break down that blockage. And then once the blockage is broken down and removed, you can then do the spell work to actually achieve what you want to achieve. But if you keep doing the same thing expecting a different result, because your intention's good. Your intention is great. Your intention is to actually cause a positive change. But if you do a specific type of working that is showing you there's a blockage that you need to take care of, or there's something that you actually need to take care of, then doing the same thing is only going to give you the same result. It's going to show you that there's something you need to take care of, and therefore you need to change direction. You need to do something different to actually take care of that problem, and then you can go back and do that spell. But constantly doing that same thing over and over again to try and break that blockage, or break away from that thing that's actually stopping you from moving forward, whatever it is, it's just going to keep concentrating energy into one particular. It's like concentrating energy into one particular point, and it gets bigger and grows and grows, and you just keep adding more and more of the same energy, and that creates a blockage at the end of the day, because you're not dealing with what needs to be dealt with. All you're doing is just putting the same energy into the same spot over and over and over again. And that's going to cause physiological problems. It might be headaches. It might be that you get ill. It's almost like you're draining yourself because you're putting this energy into a space outside of yourself, and you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. But because of a blockage that you're not dealing with, it's not flowing properly. It's not flowing outward. It's just collecting in the same spot. And at the same time, magic can become addictive. It can become like a drug. So when you get the results, you just do it more, and you do it more, and then you do it more, but then you don't get the same results anymore because you've been repeating, you've been doing the same thing over and over again, and you know that you kind of get used to it in a way. And the results that you got at the beginning, you then don't see anymore. So then you start doing bigger magic, but you're doing constantly over and over and over again. And it can become addictive. And this, again, causes problems. It causes blockages in your energy because you're not actually dealing with the energy flow within the body. You're not dealing with the energy flow outside yourself. You're not dealing with the energy flow of the elements themselves. All you're doing is just pumping energy into magic. And it's the same with anything in life. If you ignore the systems that go along with what you're actually trying to work with, then you end up with a problem. I mean, take a car for instance. If you're constantly driving your car, but you're not checking the oil, and you're not checking the water, and you're not getting it serviced, you're not changing the spark plugs, you're not changing the oil, you're just constantly driving it and keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then eventually your car's going to break down. You're not taking care of the system which helps you with the task that you're trying to accomplish, or the tool that you are using to try and accomplish a task. So you need to take care of the system, and in this case it is the energy flows. It's your own physical body, it's your own mind, it's your own soul, your own spirit. You've got to take it all into consideration. It's an entire system, and it's the microcosm which represents or reflects the macrocosm. And if you want to affect the macrocosm, you have to make sure that the microcosm is working properly in order to do that. So just a bit of a heads up, especially people first coming into magic, and they want all the big wow stuff and everything else. And this is why I teach the whole thing of, meditation. Learn meditation, learn breath work, learn how energy flows in and around the body, how it comes into the body, how it leaves the body, how it flows through the body. Learn how the elements can be manipulated, how they can be brought into the body to balance the whole system, and how they can be pulled into the body and built up and then directed out of the hands in order to affect change within the energies around you. These are all important things, and it doesn't come overnight. But if you want to do spell work properly and all of the wow stuff, then you need to actually understand all those things first, and in order to do it effectively and continue to do it effectively. Because you might come into the craft, one day, and you think, I want to do a spell work, I want to do this, I want to change that, and you do it and it works. It's beginner's luck, but it's also because it's fresh. You've got that kind of wow factor, and because of that, the intent and the will and the desire is all there, and it's powerful and it's huge. And so you do the spell work and it works, but you keep doing this and keep doing this without taking care of the system, and eventually it stops working. So in order to continually be good with your magic, with your spell work, then you just got to be aware of everything else that actually comes into play. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to mention that and get it out of the way. And then I will see you on Friday. Thanks. Cheers.